Bro, this Gina Mango though. This Gina Mango go crazy.
Gina Mango. I think I've only had that like a couple times, just 'cause like
Really?
yeah, I don't
This
know,
shit,
'cause it feels
this shit slaps.
it tastes too commercialized for an actual like mango drink. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure it's
hmm
good, but if you want to get like good mango juice, you gotta
No,
go to
you get it
like
raw for sure, for sure.
yeah, you gotta go to like an actual like I don't know Filipino place that
But for
serves like
something
the
that's supposed to
actual
be like that's like mass produced to be like a Pepsi, this shit fire.
yeah I know. So, Dayon, homie, so you're actually kind of in a bad time right now. We're not actually playing
Perfect. Okay,
DMC5
there we go.
because we are actually making a podcast called Pause Menu Podcast Episode 1. So, this entire time it's just going to be us talking through this pause menu.
Bro, we just vibing.
So,
We
I'm
just vibing.
yeah, you
Enjoy
can
the
stick.
vibes.
Look, you can stick around, man. We would love for you to stick around and like have your inputs on over this. But just to let you know, I'm not playing DMC5 right now. This is just like a paused menu kind of thing as a background to us playing DMC, or to us, sorry, not playing DMC, to us making the first episode of our podcast. You are welcome to stick around though, if you would so like to.
Also a note, it's not a given that we'll look at your chat. It's just, it's supposedly just us talking, and if we find your input interesting enough, I guess we'll bring it in,
It's
right,
just a
guys?
Saturday night with
Yeah,
the boys.
yeah. But since you're here, you're the like one of the only few viewers. You are like guest of the guest of the night, I guess. I'll stick around for a bit, but I'll be up for
Day
that. All right,
zero,
that's
ground
all.
zero.
You'll
You
be up for it.
feel
That's
it.
all good, man.
You feel it.
That's
Okay.
all good.
Is it started? Are we going? Are we just
We
going?
Bro, we've been
we've
going.
been going, bro.
We've been
Ever since me and Gian started talking about the mango
mango.
juice. Yeah, we've been going. Oh, you're
So
the
we
one
just
who kind
gotta
of helped
edit
me on
out the
the
beginning part,
snake.
right? Where we're talking about audio.
So I'm actually gonna start off by introducing this podcast to our audience, and then I'm gonna introduce myself. So welcome to the first episode of Pause Menu Podcast. I'm your host, eToy20, and this podcast is basically uh, me and two of my other friends just talking over party chat because we realized that of all the times we were in party chat and we're talking like a lot, like one topic goes to another topic and then goes to another topic, we end up talking for like an hour or two essentially. And we decided,
Maybe even
hey,
four.
yeah,
Probably four. Probably four.
probably four. Like it's like 11 p.m. and then next thing we know it's like 3 a.m. in the morning. So we decided to start a podcast over that and see what's it called and see what we can do with it essentially.
I'm just
So
here for the vibes. We're all just here for vibes.
exactly.
The
The
memories.
what's it called? So the whole concept of pause menu podcast is essentially we're going to be talking over a paused menu of any random video game that we choose. And we started off, or we're going to start off with Devil May Cry 5 because one, that's the game that I already have kind of put on my disc and I was playing before this. And two, the menu looks pretty cool. It's just like it's a dynamic menu. I love it.
We all love
Uh,
DMC5 also.
we all love DMC5. So I'm gonna introduce myself. My name is eToy20. I am a YouTuber streamer who started streaming a variety of games, mainly Sekiro and DMC5 lately. I used to stream a little bit of Kingdom Hearts, but that was when I first started streaming. Kind of got lazy with that. Future games that I'm gonna stream are the next Kingdom Hearts games, Cyberpunk, Persona, and whatever game that holds my interest. I'm mainly into JRPGs, RPGs in general, action games, first-person shooters and whatnot, and that's basically me. And so I'm gonna hand the mic over to my other two hosts. Uh,
Big
second,
poison.
second in seniority. Why don't you start?
All right. So my name is Maneater Pug. I'm also probably just gonna go by Gian, last name unknown. But I'm not really a YouTuber. I'm just friends with these two. I'm gonna be vibing with them. I like a lot of different video games. Probably the least one I don't like is MMO, but I will play almost anything else on earth. Um, Not much else. I'm a college student that just is trying to get through nursing school, and boy, is that shit hard in the middle of a pandemic. Not much else I can really think of, considering I don't really do much. My YouTube is more or less barren. I sometimes do combo videos, but that's for more for myself. But beyond that, play a lot of fighting games. Dragon Ball Fighter is probably my main one. Yeah, I think that's about it for me. Last but not least, my guy, Alibraha.
What's up, guys? My name is Alibraha, or Bra or Rap for short. These guys will probably just call me by Rap because that's the nickname I've been given. Um, I don't know what to really say. I'm kind of bad about talking about myself. I'm close to being 18. I'm in high school, and I just recently started YouTube on my channel, Alibraha, because I was just feeling, you know what, I have a lot of free time. Might as well just start up a little something that may a little hobby that'll keep me creative and stuff. I post a lot of different stuff. So far, it's just Let's Play videos, whether it be Minecraft Dungeons. It's mostly Last of Us as of now, and I just finished recording Ghost of Tsushima today, and it'll be up within the week, so that's pretty good. I love lifting. Lifting is really good. Being healthy is really important to me.
We all love lifting. I feel it. We all feel it, bro.
I love eating. That's the main reason why I try to stay healthy, because I love to eat shit, right? Um, Cursing's okay, right? We can curse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just watch what exactly you say and
Yeah,
what you say.
yeah.
So,
Watch what you
obviously.
fucking say.
Okay, alright. Okay, what else? The main type of games I play are just RPGs. I guess just to say it, my perfect game, which I've described to Etoy many times, is usually just Skyrim, in a sense. It's either Skyrim or like God of War. Or Ghost of Tsushima. Anything samurai or Norse related is my favorite things to play.
Excuse me.
And yeah, that's pretty much it.
So, did you finish Ghost of Tsushima? I actually haven't seen the latest video yet.
I finished recording earlier. I haven't edited, like the videos are a couple hours behind,
Yeah.
but it'll be fully edited.
Did you
Like
did you
within
finish
next week.
did you finish the entire game?
Yeah,
Nice,
everything
nice.
basically. I almost have the platinum too, so it was pretty crazy.
Did you play dub or sub? I'm curious.
I wanted to play dub for whoever may watch, because personally I would have played sub first, but you know, whoever's watching may not want to read and watch at the same time.
Right. I think that was the argument when they were streaming the game too. Is like I would probably play in sub myself, but for people that want this in the background, it's probably best if I do dub.
One of the things too is I feel like the Kurosawa mode, the black and white with Japanese, is such a cool idea, but the environment of the game is so beautiful.
Yeah, it's so much better with color.
Yeah, it's like the environment just, you have different, like, as you progress through the game, you go through different seasons, and it just looks so beautiful, dude.
Isn't
Like, oh my
aren't
goodness.
Kurosawa films like technically a lower frame rate than the actual game? Like Kurosawa films are like 24 FPS, but I could be absolutely fucking wrong.
I don't know. I haven't actually seen
Because
them for
those are
myself.
old ass movies, so I'm pretty
Have you
sure.
seen them, Itoy?
No,
Oh,
I
sorry.
have not seen a Kurosawa film. Actually, we got a question from our audience. Dan asks, how did he go? With honor or no honor? I,
Oh,
I,
oh. Okay, listen. I kind of went with the theme of the name because I'm like, okay, maybe the story might diverge like Infamous. You can go one way because it's made by Sucker Punch, right? So you can go one way. Whether it's, I think Evil, right, Gian? It was Evil.
Yeah, you can either go Infamous or Hero is the two
Yeah,
common
Infamous.
routes.
So I was like, okay, maybe I'll go two different routes, so I'll replay it the honorable route later. But as you play through the game, you're kind of actually just going back and forth, whichever way you choose. So I was like, okay, I'll go with dishonorable, just for the playthrough, because a lot of people I've seen play before me is just like playing honorable. I was like, okay, I'll just change it up. And I think the way they made the game, they made stealth super easy because it is dishonorable. So I think that was interesting too. But yeah, I played dishonorable.
dishonorable. Nice.
When you guys, who here? We both. I know we both played Infamous Rap, but Itoy, how much? You played Second Son, as far as I understand, right?
Nope.
Just
I only played the first
Really?
Infamous.
okay. So when we all played Infamous One, what route did we go for the first run?
I went good route. And I think I got like halfway through the bad route. And I got lazy. I was like, nah, I'm just not gonna go through this.
Yeah. I think, I think like the reason that like I think Sucker Punch had a statistic. It's like 80% of people like did the good route first, and that's why the canon is that Cole is a good guy, and more often than not.
Yeah. Even though it's called Infamous.
Yeah, the tagline of that game is being good is overrated, when in reality it's like, well, people like to do good things as much as we have shit, like, as much as we have shit faith in humanity. Most people are generally good people, surprisingly.
Most.
Yeah,
Most.
that's a
MOST,
keyword.
most.
Dayon says that he went with he played all the Infamous games. He got the ice powers, and he sided with the Beast, so he got the evil ending
Really?
for
That's
Infamous
that's
2.
crazy. That's crazy. That's a
Wow.
weird way to go, but certainly it's a way to
That's
go.
interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah. I've always wanted to. I've told you guys this before. I've always wanted to play Infamous 2, and I think if I were to play it, I would probably go with uh I'd probably go with the good route again, just because that's technically the canon ending or the canon route
Pretty much.
that Infamous.
Yeah.
Yeah. So although
Do you
although the bad
remember?
route. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna ask, Rep, do you remember which powers were more powerful in a sense? Because I feel like it was evil. I feel like evil
It
just
was
made
evil
it
for
so
sure,
much
Evil.
because
easier.
I
Just
remember
don't
my
have to
first
care about
playthrough.
collateral.
Yeah, exactly. My first playthrough, I played through Evil. This was a long time ago. Like, I was super young.
You were like
And
8.
yeah, I played Evil because it made the game easier for me, because I sucked back then. So I'm like, okay, I'll just go with the overpowered route. So that's what I went with.
Yeah. I think Evil had that.
Honestly, do you think you could stream? Sorry, Ito, do you think you could stream PS3 games if you wanted to?
You can.
I'd totally give you my copy if you wanted it.
I
I,
mean, you you
if you,
can.
yeah, if you guys want, I definitely could. I don't
Yeah,
see
because you
any
need
reason why not.
no, because you need a capture card for that, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
right. That's what I was wondering. That's why I
Yeah.
asked. It's like, if you wanted, I could let you borrow mine if you like.
Do you
I still have my copies actually, so it doesn't
Dang.
matter.
do you have a capture card, Rep?
I don't. I will be looking to invest in one come Black Friday, around my birthday, which is pretty good.
Yeah, but is Black Friday gonna be a thing though?
It's gonna be a
Oh,
thing
dude.
online. It's not gonna
Yeah,
be a thing in
online.
person.
So
No, they
so
canceled it at
Cyber
Target at
Monday.
Walmart.
Yeah, so Cyber Monday
Yeah.
it's probably gonna be.
Cyber Monday's good too.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
canceled all Thanksgiving sales during
Ooh.
at Walmart and Target. So
I
I fully expect that. That's such a profit loss too, which is crazy. You think about how
yeah.
many people go to Walmart and Target for their Black Friday shit, and they decide, yeah, it's not worth it. That's crazy.
Dude, I would honestly just take that over like a larger profit loss if the US doesn't get their shit together in the whole like coronavirus thing. It's gonna be a massive more profit loss in the future if they keep their stores open, because
Mhm.
it's just gonna be people are gonna get sick and we're gonna be forced to essentially close some stores down in the future.
Not yeah, it's not even just like from an economic standpoint. It's from a health standpoint too. It's like if we keep these open, and as we're shifting into fall and then winter, more people are gonna get a little bit stuffy, a little bit more
I'm
like
surprised we made it through a spring semester of school, honestly. And
barely.
we got off lucky because it was barely existing around that point.
It's just
Yeah.
crazy.
But I honestly, I'd rather not talk about coronavirus shit on the first. I mean, it's inevitable in the state of the world that we're in. But
We'll hold it back for a bit.
Yeah.
yeah,
We'll see.
what
But
did you guys do with your week?
going
We'll start in the
uh
opposite end this time. Rap, what did
Okay.
you do with your week?
Let's see. Um, well, some good news from this week and last week. I've lost 3 pounds somehow.
Okay,
Nice.
okay, respect it, love it.
For
For you.
whoever is watching, I've actually been trying to cut since quarantine started because I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of sick of of seeing this blubber on my body, and especially since it's in quarantine, I want to stay healthy just in case I do get it. I want my respiratory system to be up and going properly.
As best we can.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm happy to
This is
say,
low-key Japanese for not doing cardio.
no, it is not.
I'm kidding. That was just the first thing that
Okay.
came to my mind.
Um, But I am happy to say, since quarantine started, I have lost 20 pounds officially now. So that's pretty cool.
3-2-0. One more, and then you get to have an alcohol drink.
Jeez
Yeah.
Louise. I don't know, dude. That's another topic. But in and of
We'll
itself,
get there in 2 years.
I also, within the week, got a car. It was pretty cool. I got a Honda Civic manual. The learning curve is difficult, but I will say
Did
it
you
is a lot of
expect to
fun.
drive a manual car in your life?
Here's the thing. My dad asked me what I wanted for a car, and these two things I gave him. One, I wanted to have a good sound system and an aux or Bluetooth. Two, I wanted to be manual. Look what I got.
Why was that? Because I get the music thing, because everyone wants to have their phone on, but like, why the manual?
So, I was sort of convinced by my dad, but I also had my own reasoning. Is that not a lot of people know how to drive manual nowadays because of the way that companies are manufacturing their cars. Like, obviously, automatic is more convenient, it's easier. But another thing too, eventually if I get rich, right? If I want to drive a Lamborghini, those are only made manual, right? You can't
That,
drive it if it's not automatic.
that's a long-term
If
goal if I've ever seen one.
right? And another thing too, say we go into an apocalypse and I just find an old car, you need to know how, like from Last of Us
Right.
Part 1.
It's
You
a
know how to
very
drive a
valuable
manual.
skill.
Yeah.
And
I
I also think it would be, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I feel like for a lot of car people, especially if you're like, finding, let's say you meet a girl who's like really into cars. From the impression that I get from,
Those don't exist, they're all horse girls.
no, no, actually, I know one who's like really into cars. Um,
Okay.
but
The one.
I feel like if you're, when it comes to like the car, when it comes to like the car community, I'm not involved in the car community. I don't know, like, if that's, that's what it's called. Uh, but what's it called? Within the car community, it's more attractive to be able to, what's it called? To drive
Be able to
manual.
drive stick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
rather than yeah. Quick note, Dayon asks, you guys need to play a game called The Way Out. It's fun.
Oh yeah.
Interestingly enough,
Hey, yo,
interestingly enough,
can we fund this let's play with Chandra?
interestingly enough,
Please.
So,
Rap over here actually. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
oh yeah, I was just gonna explain the backstory. So, the backstory behind this is, we were actually talking about the other day, like actually when we were coming up with the idea of making a podcast, and so we were like, before that, we were like, Ito, you should play A Way Out because he's never played it. And we were just thinking of people we played it with. GN's gonna play it soon, I believe, right? With
I've watched an LP, but I'm just waiting on, like, one of my lady friends is gonna be able to come over to do it. So,
yeah. I played it with a close friend of actually all of ours. We've got to know through just online is we'll just say our online name Blue.
Blue Avenger.
Yeah, Blue Avenger.
Yeah.
And so we're saying like, Ito, it would be so cool if you would just record or stream A Way Out with someone. And
Chandra is your perfect foil for that LP. I'm
Oh
just
my
saying, it's
God.
so ridiculous.
I already know the ending to that. I'm gonna murk that guy's ass in the ending.
You
It's gonna
serious?
be, it's gonna be
He's gotten better at 1v1 shootings.
for real. Okay.
that's
Uh,
true,
We'll
that's
see.
true.
Dayon,
We'll see. Well,
let's see here.
We'll keep that quiet.
Dayon says
That's a
he's got
good point,
a.
though.
Dayon says he's got a question for one of my friends. He said he used to be scared of the big thing that throw green balls and grab you with his tongue. Which game is that?
Green balls and gravity. I mean, I have no idea.
I'm guessing
what
it's
he's talking-
Infamous, right?
What? Green balls and
Yeah.
gravity.
No, green balls and grab you with his tongue.
Oh,
I think I know what enemy he's talking about. It was this one. Is he specifically talking about Infamous 2?
Yeah, he's talking about Infamous, but I don't know which Infamous it is.
I think I know which one he's talking about. Rap, do you remember that giant monster with like it's basically just a giant ass armored mouth.
Oh wait, is that the mayor that turns into a monster?
No, it's like a mini boss basically.
Okay.
I'm gonna say this right now. There's a hard chance of me remembering because I was still young.
He was a toddler back then, so I don't expect to remember. But actually, I replayed Infamous at least a year ago. so it's kind of fresh in my mind. But I think I know what anime you're talking about. Yeah, that anime was a fucking bitch and a half because you would have to wait until its mouth would open, and you have to basically just chuck cars into his mouth.
Okay. Yeah,
Interesting.
he says it's infamous too. But
Yeah,
Dayon, what's your
I'm almost positive that's the same enemy I'm thinking of.
yeah, Dayon, put in the chat what your question is and we'll answer it. But going back to I guess well we're waiting for the question to answer. Going back to A Way Out. So you said Sean's getting better at first person shooters?
Well, you should know that. You've always been playing with him in Modern Warfare.
Well, yeah, but like I don't know how much better that he's gotten.
He was like, in a 1v1 though, against me, I'm not sure.
Maybe you know,
I can
maybe
hear Chandra right now. It's like, square the fuck up, boy.
maybe.
I can hear him from here. Right now, he has the disturbance in his chest. He's like, what the fuck is this feeling?
I remember I remember I was in export and like I've never what's the word, flaunted, or I've never really
Flexed.
yeah, I've never flexed on how quote unquote good I am at Call of Duty. I've never told Sean about that, right? Until this one time, I said I don't know what the context of the conversation was, but I was like, my
Oh,
back
no.
hurts. My back hurts from carrying you in Call of Duty, and I was like, oh man, it's like, and I'm telling him like, well, like that's from
You're
all the
gonna
times
gas
that
him up. You're gonna
you
gas him
and
up so hard.
that's from all the times that you and G and like flex on me in Smash, and he's like, I never flex on you in Smash. I was like, yeah, you do. And I guess he doesn't really, but like, I
He
don't know.
doesn't. He just beats you all the time. That's
Yeah,
not.
so
See, it's disrespectful if he sandbags you. That's what that is. But he's just beating you flat out.
yeah. Dayan's question is, you help the girl and take her to her dad, then a thing finds, and then he cuts off. So I don't know what girl he's talking about.
I think I might know what mission he's talking about. If he's talking about LaRoche's niece or daughter or whatever.
Yeah.
Man, I gotta play that game again. I have no idea. What you guys are talking
It's a weird tangent. So I mean I don't know, but
But yeah.
yeah.
Um.
How did we get there? Oh yeah, A Way Out, and then
Yeah. Oh yeah, the infamous. But yeah. But yeah, I mean
well,
like
that was your week wrap.
yeah.
Yep.
But I mean like what's it called? I don't know. Has Sean been playing Call of Duty lately? Because I haven't been
I wouldn't say so.
online.
No,
It's just that I feel like you underestimate him, like shooting, and like if it's a focused ass ammo.
Well, we've played S&D a couple of times, and no disrespect to Sean, slightly, but
This is gonna go
Yeah,
on YouTube, by the way, so much.
anyways, you know, there are
He's
some
getting heated. He's getting heated right now. He's listening to this shit. He's about to fucking throw it.
He's gonna comment in the YouTube section. What the fuck did you say?
Instant
Sean,
dislike.
Sean, I love you. But there are some instances where you're not, like when you don't have the AUG equipped, where you sometimes choke a 1v1, I'm just saying. When you have an AUG in your hand, you're basically Steph Curry from deep. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Ito's saying yeah, like he knows what that means.
Yeah, that's exactly what I just did.
You don't know what that means?
Bro, he doesn't watch basketball.
I don't watch
know what
sports,
you're
dude.
talking about.
I know about Steph Curry. I don't know who the hell that is. Like,
He don't know what deep means. He doesn't know if that's in the paint
I
or
don't
if
know
that's the
what-
3-point line.
I don't know. I didn't know deep was used to in basketball in general. Okay, I know who Kobe is, rest in peace. But like, all his accomplishments, all basketball players except maybe LeBron, like everything flies over my head. 'Cause,
Hey,
like,
Ito, what's the difference between All-Star and MVP?
One is a celebrity, the other one is like okay. So MVP stands for most valuable player, right? So he's like, so this basketball player is like the best in the court at that moment ish. I don't know that round.
This is so entertaining.
And then All Star is like a celebrity like what's his name? Michael Jordan. I almost said Michael Jackson. Michael Jordan, or like Kobe
To be
Bryant or
fair,
LeBron.
when I was like 8, I mixed the two up a lot. Jordan and Jackson,
Yeah,
CBH.
too many
I don't
Michaels.
blame you.
But yeah,
I guess so.
that's All-Star versus MVP. I know my
Jesus
stuff. Don't
Christ. Okay, well,
I know
my
my stuff.
week.
Okay, just go, just go.
I mean, I didn't do much. I had that photo shoot. That was pretty fun.
Oh,
It's
how did
really
that go?
annoying. It was really annoying because, like, now I get what Kyle has to go through when he goes to a meet and he doesn't eat or drink for like 12 hours straight
Oh,
or even
Dehydration.
longer. That
You,
shit, that shit was so bad. I didn't eat or drink. I woke up like around 12 and I didn't eat anything since like 4 p.m. before. So I didn't eat for basically 24 hours until we were done with the shoot, and that shit was so fucking. Ugh. I
jeez
got.
Louise.
I ate a double chipotle steak with double rice, double wrapped. You already know the vibes.
That's crazy. The longest I haven't ate for it, because, so, context, I've been fasting since the beginning of quarantine, so that's a big reason why I've been losing weight too. The longest fast I've had is about 19 and a half hours, and oh my god, I was starving. Given I did sleep through most of it, but oh my goodness, that is hard.
yeah.
I will say, I think I have a slight advantage in that, like, I'm used to not eating for long periods of time because I was just super skinny for, like, most of my life, so my stomach's kind of used to it, but even then, like, I was getting really fucking, like, it hurt to go down that trail, like, and leave the forest. But the actual shoot itself was actually really fun. It was kind of a bitch and a half to get in the water, though, because we were in a creek and shit,
Oh yeah.
Oh jeez.
Yeah. I've been
and
there
so it's like
before.
the water's like at least like around 8 inches deep. Nah, probably a foot deep even.
Goodness. That,
So I'm like I at least had like flip flops and shit, but like it kind of was still fucked because I had to. It went on my jeans and like my nice pants, but you know it is what it is.
Is he
I'm
g-
hype as fuck
is he
for
gonna
those
give you the
photos to come
photos?
out.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say like
He was I think he was editing them today, so I'll probably get them sometime this week. But I'm hyped.
nice,
oh, I'm
nice.
excited to see those. They look cool.
Yeah. Especially because
But
just like if this thing with my lady friend doesn't work out, then I'm gonna need a dating profile pictures, and it's like, well,
you're gonna
these
need
definitely look nice.
you're gonna need a new Tinder pro. You need Tinder photo.
TBH, I don't feel Tinder.
What do you
Because
use?
Tinder's just for hooking up, and that's just not what I'm really looking for right now. So
I mean, no, like you can still start relationships with Tinder.
you can, but like the intent of Tinder is mostly for hooking up, and that's just me coming from a college campus. It's like, yeah, I mean, that's what it's for. That's why OkCupid or Bumble's usually where you just make more like actual relationships or friendships with people. Or you could still hook up, but Tinder's like almost 80 to 80% like you're hooking up, you're or attempting to hook up, I'd say.
Can't know. I wouldn't relate.
Perhaps like
Well,
I
you're a
can't
minor,
even
so you're not allowed
I
on
can't
Tinder.
even.
I don't
Exactly.
think.
Yeah. Well,
Exactly. That's the point.
you can lie, but like don't do that. Don't
Are you,
don't
e-toy?
do
What do you
that.
mean?
Don't
He
do
never
that.
goes to Pornhub and presses those buttons. He's a good Christian child.
Yeah.
I'm just saying like when I got out of college or when I got out of
When I got out of college, I went to Pornhub so fast. You have no
no
idea.
no what I'm saying
Frame
is
one.
when I got out of high school and I was like I started getting into Tinder, right? Because I'm in college and I'm like, oh, let me just get on Tinder, all that stuff like that. When I was at home scrolling through Tinder, I was seeing some girls that were like from my high school that were still in high school. I'm sitting here like, aren't you not supposed to be here? Like, what the heck? So I guess like yeah, you
Right.
could technically lie in your age in that one,
That's
but
But
fucked up.
I
That's so
wouldn't. I
fucked up to
wouldn't.
do.
don't
That's
yeah,
so
but don't
fucked up to do to
yeah,
anyone
don't do
because you
that.
could actually get someone in legal trouble for that shit.
Exactly.
Finna
Like
catch a
don't
case.
do that, you know.
There were so many times where I'm like, I'm interested in a girl, and it's like, oh, they're a freshman in college, and I don't know how I feel about this. Because
Yeah.
I'm 22. That shit don't fly for me.
What's the youngest you would date?
I think I've told you this before. For me, it would be like a 2 year gap, like below.
Yeah. All
So
right.
like for me, it would be a sophomore in college. At
Sophomore in
the
college.
youngest, absolutely.
For me, so I used to say like, all right, I'll go down to like 18 or 19. But nowadays it's like, I don't know anymore, man. Like, I kind of want someone with a similar life experience, and I feel like you can still get that with college, with people as a
To a certain
24-year-old.
extent, yeah.
Yeah, as someone who's already passed their college days, in a sense, you can still get that with college with people from college, but I feel like at this point I should probably be dating someone who is more in their career stage or in their master's degree stage kind of thing. You know, like it's not gonna be fun. Or it's not gonna be not necessarily fun, but it's gonna be hard to find things in common with someone who is still in that stage,
I
in a
wouldn't I
sense.
I wouldn't exactly say so. I just think it's a harder time constraint
True.
personally. But
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know, Rep. If you're our age, what would you say is the age range that's comfortable for you?
So the thing is, it's a little different because when my mom and dad had me, they were young, but even then they married and they were married for a long time. Um, they had an age gap of 4 years. Um, so I don't know. I think it just goes with time. Like say, I guess with your current or age group, I would say probably 2 3 years younger max.
I mean, I think like I agree with you because like if I were to date someone that's like 9 years below me, that'd be fucked up, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
if I'm like 60 and the other chick is like 51, that's fine.
yeah. It definitely blends over with age because there's a lot of people out there who's like 60 dating like a 40-year-old or whatever like that. You know, it starts blending in essentially. But the younger you are, the smaller the age gap is more appropriate in a sense.
Well,
You know?
here's the thing, right? Like, because I know I was watching a lot of discussions go along about I think you guys heard about a lot of the stuff going on in the Smash community, right?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, that's so
What is
Really,
messed
happening?
up.
really. It's
I don't. I'm not into Smash.
well, TLDR, like the short gist of it is basically a bunch of top content creators got like outed as pedophiles, and
Oh,
there's
wow.
massive amounts of proof for it. It's like pretty much it's like the biggest names that you can find in that community were basically like outed, like numbers 1, 2, and 3, like easy outs. It was
Gee.
crazy.
It was, yeah.
They were,
I,
they
I
were
saw
grooming
this.
14-year-olds and that telling them to send them pictures of like their bodies. It's really, really disturbing.
I saw this one
Oh,
clip
that's
of.
gross.
I saw this one clip of this one person, like essentially getting like almost chummy with a 15-year-old. Well, she was in
I
her
think I know what clip you're
20s.
talking about. Yeah,
Yeah, she
senpai.
was. Yeah, I was sitting here like, oh my God,
Yeah, it's
that's pretty
wild to
fucked up.
rewatch that clip because it's like
Yeah, you
you
notice that
have to
you.
rewatch it, and when given the proper context of you know what's going on behind the scenes, then it's like, oh, this is fucked up. And like,
Yeah.
I think one of the things that I remember hearing about from some other podcast, shout outs to Everyday Beam Struggle, Afro Shofu, Afro Senju, excuse me.
Ah, Sandra, yes.
But basically, one of the dudes on there said it's like women's brains like finish developing around the age of like 23, 24. Men's brains don't stop developing until like 28 or some shit like that. And I believe
Yeah.
it. I 100% believe that shit.
I learned that in psychology, actually, so that's true.
How accurate is that? Like my numbers that I looked
Uh,
at.
the
'Cause it's been like 2 weeks since I remember that, so I could be wrong. I don't want to put
I'm
shit
pretty
out
sure
there.
your female one was correct. I think with the male, it's a little bit less, probably by like a year or two. I was thinking 26, but
Right.
it's still closely accurate.
But I think that's still a thing in when we talk about relationships at this age. It's like dating someone so much lower. It's like they still probably do not fully understand the concept of consent and what is okay and what they like and what they don't like, and that really is difficult for especially a lot of men, and why more often than not men are the instigators of a lot of sexual abuse and sexual misconduct. So. But hey, Itoi, what's your week like? I feel like we start off on something and just end up it's like, oh, this is fucking dark. Hey, next
Yeah.
topic.
Yeah, Itoi.
My week has been, let's see here. I went to a weekend trip with a couple of my friends because it's been a while since we've seen each other, and we figured that since it's going to be an outdoor weekend trip, it should be, for the most part, relatively safe where we can, social distance or at least like not let the corona spread as much. It was at a canoeing place that's about an hour away from us. I don't want to say the name. I think it was. Well, I guess it's fine to say the name, right? Like it shouldn't be.
It's up to you. It's your location, man.
Yeah. Well, anyways, yeah, it was a canoeing place, and we did what's called like a 12-mile canoe. So we would start off at like we would go in a bus and they would drop us off at a specific point that's 12 miles away from our location, from the initial, from our where the camper is, and we would just canoe down the river stream, and we would, essentially just chill while in the canoe. We would sometimes tie up like two or four canoes together, and we'd just play music, have fun, essentially, just drink around too. That would just
Did
would
we
just
get Olive Garden, Itoi?
you got worse than Olive Garden. It's like, are you
Oh
kidding me?
no.
I like fell
Oh
asleep in the
no.
canoe. I fell as
Did we?
I have a video of
Oh
that
my
actually.
god.
I'm gonna
Oh
share it
my
to you guys
god,
later.
no. Oh
I'm gonna
no.
share you guys later, but I have a video of me like I'm gonna share it to you guys right now actually. But yeah,
Oh
we
goodness.
got past Olive Garden Itoy. Actually, I'll do it later after the
Crap, I
podcast.
guarantee you, you've never taken alcohol before, but I guarantee you, you have a better tolerance for alcohol than Itoi already. I,
Which honestly, look. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Being lightweight is honestly not a bad thing, and honestly, it's more of a good thing.
I'm not
Cause
saying
you
it's a bad
spend
thing. I'm just saying it's
you get
funny.
you
It's
get there
funny.
you get
I
to like
never
the
said it was a
best
bad thing.
you get to the best part about drinking alcohol much faster than people, and honestly, that is the best. But yeah, anyway, so I was like,
He's like,
I was like,
anyway,
I woke up and I was like a little hungover. That's how bad it was. I was hungover. I was like, oh my
Jesus Christ.
god, like I'm rowing down the boat and I'm like
How
keeping
much
quiet
did
because
you
like,
drink? How much
all
did
right,
you
I
drink? What
drank
did you
like
have?
I drank a spiked what's it called? I drank like a spiked shot. I don't know like how much alcohol was in it. I think it's like 7% or whatever. I don't know. I don't know
Oh
how.
good.
Yeah.
That's it's a shot though, so I mean it's literally not it shouldn't knock you out.
Yeah,
It'll
but
get you maybe a little
I also
buzzed and
drank like a bunch
tipsy.
of I also drank a bunch of cocktails and whatnot.
I mean,
Um,
like how many cocktails we talking?
like three.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
that's enough to do Itoy in.
yeah. So I was like, okay. But the crazy thing was like before my best record was like 7 shots, not in a row, but like over the course of the night. Right, right. 7 shots in like over the course of the night while doing push-ups and eating cottage cheese. Okay, that was like my
That
best.
shit.
That
Oh
was
my
like my best.
god,
Yeah. By the
I
way,
wish I was there.
don't ever do that. Don't do push-ups or eat any dairy. You're drinking any dairy while you're drinking alcohol. That is probably one of the worst things you could do. Because you're gonna be throwing up in the basement. You're gonna look up. Everyone's gonna be in their Snapchat, and you're just like, they're waiting for me to throw up. I need to throw up. I might as well throw up.
It's funny, bro. I'm
It's
sorry.
it's funny, but at the same time, I was like, God damn it! I don't want to end up like this every single time. It's honestly, I don't know, like it's kind of bad because like everything is spinning. Like it's fun when you're drunk and you're tipsy, but then once everything starts spinning, it's like
And
this is the
there's the
worst.
backhand of the lightweight. There
This
you
is
go.
this is like this is the worst
You
experience.
get,
But once I sober up, I can go back into the fray, so I can get drunk twice in a
can
night.
you? Can you?
I've never tried, but I will try next time.
These are my seniors, everyone. My examples.
We are your senpai.
We are, yeah, this is what you should not do. Don't do what I did.
Well, I drink much less than you, and I still somehow have a slightly better tolerance than you, I think. Because the last time we drank was at my birthday, which was in October. So
How many shots did you have that night? I feel like you had like
that night,
5, right?
oh my god. Oh, okay, I think I can recall it. I had at least 3 ciders, which is like 3 beers. About 3 White Claws, so that's another 3 beers. I'm kind of just putting this in terms Rap can understand. And then how many? And then probably like 3 shots, and then at least like 6 Jello shots.
Okay. How much is in Jello shots? Is it a
It's
lot or?
about half a shot is in
Okay.
one Jello shot. So I had like in total like probably around like 10 shots if I had to guess.
No, if it's half a
10, 10.
no, because you said three shots and then six Jello shots, right? And each Jello shot is
Yes.
half a shot,
So
which
three
means so three
plus.
three. So that's six shots, and then the beers in the cocktails in general probably give you like one or two shots, so that's about 7 to 8 shots.
I feel like it was more.
It probably
'Cause I
felt
feel
it
like
probably felt more.
isn't like one beer like the equivalent to like one shot or something like that?
I would not say that. No, one beer does not equal to one shot.
I mean
I
it's
mean I
just
wouldn't.
less alcohol content but a higher volume. That's to what I understand it is.
Yeah, but that's more like the calorie thing, but probably. But I wouldn't say like in terms of like the alcohol
Okay.
level, it wouldn't be equivalent to a shot.
I'm gonna do this on my phone right now. What's my BAC at if I'm doing this shit?
I don't know. But anyways, yeah, that's the alcohol story. And then what else did I do? I went to a sunflower field and took some pictures. Got a new picture for Instagram, which
I
you guys
like those.
saw.
Those are pretty good.
Yeah, it was nice in there. Really, really nice in there. But it was so hot though. That was the hottest I've ever experienced in America, like ever. Like it was. I think we went there around like 2 p.m. in the afternoon ish. So the sun was like essentially above us, and it felt like 100 degrees, and my stupid ass was wearing a plaid shirt that you normally would wear in the fall,
A yellow plaid.
a
That's why I
yellow
was confused.
a
I was
yellow
so confused
plaid.
at your shirt.
Yeah, it was a yellow long sleeve. The reason why I wore it is because my friend told me we're going to a sunflower field, so I'm like, oh, let me just get something that matches with the sunflower. So let me get a yellow plaid shirt. So I was like, oh, this is so cool. Then I got there and I realized my mistake. Like, oh, it's 100 degrees. I might pass out here. No, I'm kidding. I've never passed out from the heat.
That is insane. When was this? When did you do the photos?
Sunday. So
Oh
literally
yeah,
yesterday.
it was hot.
Yeah,
It was,
that was like the day after the shoot I had, and it's like, yeah, I'm glad I didn't do this shit on Sunday.
Well, at least you were near water, and there were trees shading you if you did it on
No,
Sunday.
I was still sweating. When you look at those
Yeah.
pictures, you'll be able to tell. By the way, so I pulled up the BAC calculator real quick. So for a male, 151 pounds with 6 beers, and I actually think I took way more Jello shots than I think because I just asked Rachel like how many Jello shots did I take? She's like at least 10. So
oh
like
goodness.
way more than I thought. So approximately my blood level, almost 40% of my blood was alcohol.
Oh my
You're
god.
probably not reading this, and like I'm reading the explanations. Like you're probably not reading this because there's a good chance you're unconscious, and I was passed the fuck out on the couch. So
I
that's
don't know.
about
You were you
accurate.
were you were pretty active before that actually. You were
I was
like
active. I was
singing
active for a while.
BTS. You were like singing and dancing BTS shit. I have videos actually. Let me like pull that
Yeah,
shit
for
up
sure.
too.
But like, I would say by the time Rachel came and she started egging me on to take like 2 or 3 shots, and like, because once Rachel came in, like that was basically when I was like downing so much more shit. Also, I took a hit of Demontre's dabs, so that shit, dude, I was crossfaded. That shit sent me. I was gone, bro.
Bruh. Being
Don't ever,
crossfaded,
don't ever crossfade yourself that hard. That
being
it's fucking unsafe.
being
Holy shit.
crossfaded, being
It's
crossfaded
fun,
is like
but
6 out of 10.
dude,
6 out of
I
10 for me.
will say the experience was a 9 out of 10. It was so fucking
Six out
fun,
of
but
10 for
oh
me.
my god, the fucking whiplash of it was harsh on me.
I would say 6 out of 10 for me when I got crossfaded. It was
Did I tell you about the party when John woke up on the couch and it's like 6 a.m. no one's home and he goes up to my room and I'm like he's trying to wake me up so he can leave,
yeah.
but I just can't wake up. He's like he doesn't even know if I'm breathing and it's like okay he's alive and I'm just gonna hope to God this alarm system doesn't pop off. I mean, I managed to get away safe, but I didn't wake up until like hours after. So, and because
Yeah.
of that party, I failed another exam. But hey, you live and learn.
What do I usually say, man? What do I usually say with that?
I don't know what you say. It's not me. Usually.
I can't believe you forgot my motto. Rap, do you remember my motto?
Well, he doesn't drink or
No, no,
party that
no, no, no.
much.
It's not about parties, but it could be used for parties.
Okay, alright.
It's your
You
thing,
can
man.
always retake a class, but you
But
can
you can
never
never relive the
experience
same.
the same party twice.
Exactly.
My influence is everybody. Teaching me to skip class for
Can
parties.
I point out that the youngest one here is the most responsible one out of all of us?
Hey, that's a good thing. That means the next generation is better than us.
We're the
That's
same
what you
generation.
want.
Well, okay. I mean, like, you're a millennial, technically, right?
I don't, I,
Yeah.
I don't, I don't know. I don't
What
honestly.
year
I
were you
don't.
born? What year were you born?
96.
Then, oh wow. So as of the recent AP Psych book, which is 2020, you were technically considered a Zoomer. So
So,
from the
so we
year,
are in the same generation.
yeah.
Yeah, but
But you know,
like,
I'm just
it's still
later
the
on.
years. It's still the years. Like,
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
yeah.
But you know,
All right. So actually, speaking of that, well, first of all, let me just interject a little bit with what Dayon is saying. Dayon says he played Days Gone, but it was too boring. He loves a game called Dying Light. Never played. I've heard of Days Gone. I've heard of Dying Light, but I've never played either of those two games.
I've actually played Days Gone. I know Dying Light's really good. That's one of the games I want to play too.
Was Days Gone
Yeah.
that PlayStation game that they tried to sell as the next Last of Us, but it was like a 7 out of 10?
See, in my opinion, or the way I see it or saw it, they didn't try to sell it as The Last of Us. They tried to sell it as the first more open world zombie game. And what's the commentator's name? I'm so sorry. I can't. What, is it Dayon?
Dayon, yeah.
Um, I played the game completely. I've actually almost platinumed it too. It is really boring. Like a lot of the stuff is repetitive. Um, I guess my only reason to justify that is like, how would you change it up? Personally, I don't even know because like it's a zombie apocalypse. There's not much you can do, especially how the story takes place 2 years after the whole outbreak happened. They've already established, excuse me, their camps and stuff, and their currency systems. Is like, there's not much really you can do other than the base story, which is. Should I spoil it or a minor
I
spoiler?
I don't care for Days
Just
Gone. Yeah.
say that there's a spoiler and be like,
Just say it.
there's a
Yeah.
spoiler. But
Yeah.
I don't
Okay,
care,
well,
personally.
minor spoiler alert: the main story plot is the only really interesting part of the story, other than the Nero. I found the Nero one to be really cool, but yeah, I feel like it's a little bit of an underrated game, but that's just me because I love zombie games. So
There's a topic here that I actually have pulled up, and it's actually a perfect segue. So I was wondering how you guys feel about with a lot of the shit going on about user reviews versus critic reviews,
Okay.
especially because Rap recently probably just finished The Last of Us, and he has the most clear-cut difference of opinion between a lot of the users out there.
okay. Ooh, I've actually been waiting to talk about this with other people.
Dayon,
Yeah, I'm sure.
Dayon,
I'm sure.
Dayon says the game's trash.
Fair, fair.
Yeah.
Okay. So, with The Last of Us Part 2, I just want to say this. Um, Last of Us Part 1, the first one, was probably my favorite game up until God of War came out, and up until I played Nier Automata. Um, the story was just so driven because I love zombies. I play a lot of COD zombies, if you guys didn't know. Well, for those who don't know, I play a lot of COD zombies. And with the way they went with the story, I can see why a lot of people really disliked it. And I'll just say this to start out. I didn't think killing Joel was a bad idea. I just think they did it way too soon. Oh, spoiler alert, by the way, Joel dies.
No, he knows. Dayon just said that Last of Us is trash because Joel died.
Yeah. And I feel like I think he had it coming because I kind of.
No, he absolutely did. Joel is a piece of shit, and I feel like people need to understand that. And
But he.
I haven't played the game, so I'm not going to say one way or the other. But Joel absolutely had it coming.
Yeah, but he's our piece of shit, right? He's
Right.
us.
Yeah, exactly. If you're gonna be an
And
asshole, you're gonna be my asshole.
exactly. And I feel like it would have been cooler if they just kind of shifted around some of the acts throughout the story. Maybe it would have been better. And the thing is, too, the way I look at it is it says Last of Us Part 2 and not Last of Us 2. So it is a continuation of the story that happened in Part 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but the also
It makes
frustrating
sense
thing
that
is,
Joel eventually gets fucked over because he has to. It makes no sense. The man has crossed so many people and he gets away with it for so long.
exactly. And one of the more frustrating things about mine, too, because I gave, 10, like, in the end, I gave the game an 8 out of 10.
Right.
So just starting with the story, I feel like Abby's story, as much as many people dislike the character, I actually pretty much like the character, even though she killed Joel. But it's just the way that she's written and her like story throughout, the game is just so much more interesting than Ellie's. Like if you play through the game, there's so much more different shit that happens through Ellie's. Like with Ellie's, you're just going, killing, massacring people, right? And I get it. Obviously, Joel is a lot of people's favorite characters, and Abby's is being targeted as the main villain. But if you just look at it, Abby's story is more Last of Us than Ellie's, right? And because the reason why I play Last of Us is to experience the zombies, get the lore, not some revenge plot. Just because, obviously
It
Joel's a
feels
favorite
like there's
character.
more. There's less zombies involved in this, but granted, I haven't played it, so.
Yeah. And the only bit of lore that you get is from Abby's side. You get also more of a, like, the life side, the different factions with the wolves and what's the other one? The Scars, the Seraphites.
Hmm.
It's just weird, man. It's just if you just fine tune some things throughout the story, I feel like you would have been able to enjoy it more.
So you
Like,
feel like there was more variety with Abby's story compared to Ellie's story in a sense.
it was more Last of Us than Ellie's part. That's what I'm
Gotcha.
saying.
I can definitely again, I haven't played, but I think I can definitely see how Ellie's is just a straightforward fucking murder path
Yeah,
compared to I'm
exactly.
sure there's a lot of more character building in Abby's story to try and sympathize with her as a character because you need to make me care about this fucking bitch.
And yeah,
Dayon
that's the thing too. Oh,
Dayon
go ahead.
says that so I asked him like he said Last of Us is trash because Joel died, and he said that but Joel killed Abby's dad. Um,
I
yeah.
mean, yeah, that's true.
That's one of
Joel's
the things
kind of
like
an asshole for that.
Yeah,
yeah,
Joel
that's kind of
really
like
didn't need to do that.
yeah.
That doctor was kind of just like, I'm gonna fuck off, and he killed him anyway.
Yeah, so actually that's kind of like the big plot hole with Last of Us. It's like why couldn't they wait even with the first one? Like why couldn't they wait for Ellie to just wake up and get her consent to do the surgery? Cuz she like she's going to say yes, right?
Joel doesn't care about her
Yeah.
consent. Joel only cares about himself.
No, that's no. Like, I think the problem more so was with the surge with the doctor and whatnot. Like, they said like we gotta operate her now. It's like no, you don't. You can just wait like I don't know a day or two, get the consent from the girl, and then like
Doctors don't give a fuck about a little girl's consent when it comes down to the potential of saving humanity.
yeah, but like
and
you can do like a day or something like that. Like this is still coming from
What
someone's
does
luck.
consent matter when you
Yeah.
have the knife right there?
but the thing is too, if you play through Abby's part, you learn more. It's a chance at a vaccine. It's never been guaranteed.
Right.
Yeah.
Given
Right.
it could be a big chance to get it, but you're essentially trading, a girl's life, and of course you having to ask for consent over other millions of people. And of course, if we're in their position, we might do something different. We might actually just go ahead and do surgery on Ellie. But another thing is too, Joel should he was a big asshole for that. Like from someone who's going into nursing, and I know as he said, he's in nursing right now for schooling. You don't have to fucking stab the doctor in the neck if you're just trying to save her. You could just pistol whip the man, right? Or just
You could
hold
have
him in
knocked him
gunpoint.
out. You could have pushed him aside. You didn't have to shank him.
Like, throughout the entire game, we've seen Joel fight off bloaters, clickers, runners, and be, like, mobbed by them. But no, we gotta.
Almost every single kill, like, and it's even arguable that almost every single kill Joel does is in self-defense. Up to
Exactly.
that point.
Yeah.
Up until that doctor, it's like literally, I remember watching playthroughs when I was like, when did Last of Us 1 come out? Like 2013, 2014?
13, yeah.
2013 or it's either
Yeah.
2013 or like late 2012.
I remember being 15 and 16 and watching some Let's Players, and they would like try and look for ways not to kill the doctor.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
because that is the only prompt in which you are forced to kill someone who is not trying to attack you. And it's
Literally.
weirdly out of character.
Exactly. And in my recent playthrough before playing Last of Us Part 2, I tried to shoot the doctor in the leg, and it insta-killed him. I was like, what the fuck? Are you kidding? I don't know. It was so bad. So yeah, Joel did have it coming. But it's just, the story is whack. Gameplay-wise, it was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah,
I was playing...
I feel like that's the only thing that people will like not give it shit, that shouldn't give it shit on. Is like everything about the game is relatively solid, other than the story is very controversial.
Well, I will say one thing. I don't know if it's just me because I'm really impatient. Say I was just playing this on my own, of course I would take all the time in the world, but if I'm recording, I'm not gonna take like hours on a level. And it's just, there's some instances, or the game calls it encounters, where you're just overwhelmed or swarmed with enemies. It's like, at that point, it's like, are you kidding? I'm not just gonna sit here and wait for the opportunity for too long. I'm just gonna go gun-ho. And that was on normal. That was on normal. I was like, what the fuck? Why is it so hard? But again, that could be just me and
I
being
remember The
impatient.
Last of Us. I remember The Last of Us being hard, even on normal, as a 16-year-old. So
Yeah, but I replayed it recently, and I'm 17, and I guess I've played it enough times where I'm probably better at the game. But I don't. It just seems like the difficulty jumps a little bit wonky. Other than that, the game, from my POV, I thought it was pretty good. Story,
I definitely think I'm going to give it time before I play it, because I feel like I still have too much of a bias right now. I want to wait a bit.
that's the thing is too, I was able to play the game without knowing any spoilers, so that definitely helped.
Did you know
Without-
about
Yeah.
the massive people like hating the game
I did,
beforehand?
but I did know that. But I always try to keep an open mind with things because, hell, I'm also a DC fan when it comes to movies. I try to say,
Over Marvel?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying I'm a
Okay,
DC fan of the movies.
okay. I was about to say, homie.
No. I love Marvel. But I'm still a DC fan, right? I love reading their
Mm-hmm.
comics and I want to watch the movies. And obviously, the bar is set pretty low. So from that, if I hear something's bad, I just want to experience it for myself first and then make an opinion.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what I did with
Do
Last
you,
of Us.
do you think that there is use in user reviews or critic reviews at all? Do they even serve a purpose, realistically speaking?
So,
I mean, if you're looking... Oh, go ahead. I've been talking for a while.
um, so yeah, so for that one, it's hard to say, but I think for a more general review, in a sense, like just to see like if a movie, just to answer the simple question is the movie good or bad? Is the movie or the piece of media good or bad? Then user reviews does an experience because it's a popularity kind of thing. If a lot of user reviews are saying this movie is 2 out of 5 stars, 4 out of 5 stars, or it's a good movie, then generally most people are going to be like, oh, I'm interested in this movie, let me go watch it. But if most people are saying that, oh, this movie is pretty bad or not that good movie, then generally
Last
speaking,
Airbender.
it's not going. Yeah, generally it's not going to be a good movie, right? But for actual quality review, um, no, it's not a very good sense because there's a lot of bias or there's a lot of things that people can miss when it comes to those movies. People put their own emotions or personal stuff into those reviews. So if you want like an actual like quality review and like on assessing a game's actual quality, the most important part is one, asking someone who's actually got in depth with that. They can have a bias, that's fine, but as long as they go in depth with their reviews, that's fine. Or two, just going through it through your own personal experience because that's ultimately what's going to determine a game's quality for you, because ultimately it's your experience that that really determines if a game is good for you. That's what matters. It's your experience. So I think for the general population, user reviews are still useful, but for specific, like, I want to know if this game's actually good quality or not, it's not very useful unless you can have someone that can go through an in-depth review of the game.
Yeah, I totally agree. But the thing is, too, it is useful, say, like, if the game's been out for a while, right, and you just don't know, you want to play it, you look at the reviews, right? But if the game's first coming out, the initial reviews are going to be a little scattered, because I remember I was looking this up, for Last of Us Part 2, the initial reviews were as IGN 9 out of 10, and I believe the users that liked it was like 20%, with like a 2-star rating.
Yeah.
But then looking at it now, after the game's been put out for some time, IGN has changed it to 10 out of 10, with the audience for Google users, 54%, and the actual audience rating summary is a 2.8. And I don't know, it's like I was saying earlier, I'd rather just experience the game for myself and then make an opinion. Because when you look at reviews like this, it's not like those like quizzes where it's like very disliked, neutral, that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't know whether it's like, I like the game, but there's this and that, but I dislike the game, but there was good stuff like this. But I always say just try to experience the game for yourself and
But
make an
you
opinion.
also got to keep in mind that The Last of Us 2 is a very special case when it comes to this, because
Exactly.
it's a mixture of like internet hate and vitriol, people genuinely disliking the game, and some critic reviews of like who the game is. Interestingly enough, though, there's actually, I think it was Alana Pierce who said this. Alana Pierce, for if you don't know, Rap, is a former IGN reviewer.
Mm.
She's gained some popularity from starting her own channels since then. But
Shout out to Funhouse.
yeah, she actually mentioned that there's really no such thing as paid reviews. But what actually happens is that they give the review copies to people who are most likely going to give the review a favorable review. So it's still rigged in a sense, but it's not rigged as in like, hey, here's $5,000. You better give this game a 5 out of 5 stars, or we're gonna get the $5,000 back. It's not like that. So in a
So,
sense, yeah,
uh, you can finish your thought. I have something after though.
yeah. So in a sense, it's like you can still have like a rigged review system when it comes to the official like game journalists in some sense,
It's more
right?
skewed than rig, I would say.
It's
Yeah,
more skewed, right?
yeah. So you can still have a skewed review, and you can have a skewed review from either set, from either the critics, from the game journalists, and user scores. Especially with The Last of Us 2, because a lot of people, it's very clear that a lot of people dislike the game for the sake of actually disliking it, not actually disliking the game. You know what I mean? Like I think I messed that
It's
order
like
up, but
they were just disliking it just to dislike it, not through playing the game, right? Or
yeah,
watching it, right?
yeah. They don't actually hate the game. They're just like, oh, it's funny to dislike it because it's the Justin Bieber of games right now. In a sense, like it's cool. It's cool to hate Last of Us 2, is what I'm trying to say. Um,
I guess so.
so I feel like with The Last of Us 2 is a very special case with that, because it's a mixture of a lot of the bad practices that's been plaguing the review system, kind of just being put into the limelight.
Yeah, even Ghost of Tsushima, they after the Last of Us shit, they had to wait like 24 hours after the game actually released to let user reviews like post it.
Smart, honestly.
Yeah.
And I know
And
recently there was a Nintendo Direct Mini that was like about 10 minutes long, and uh, I think Etoy might know this.
Yeah.
Uh, they posted a Shin Megami Tensei 5 announcement trailer, and that's really hype because they haven't announced anything Shin Megami Tensei related in like 5 years, 4 or 5 years, basically whenever the Switch was first announced. And if I think Rap, you know that Shin Megami Tensei is like the parent
yep,
series of Persona, right?
yep, yep,
Like
yep.
when that trailer dropped, half the dislikes of it was a half dislike bar because people have their expectations for fucking Smash, Bayonetta 3, Metroid Prime 4, like ridiculous shit when they don't even remember that we're in a goddamn pandemic and like work conditions are unrealistic right now.
Mm,
And
interesting.
after that, like every single game that had Shin Megami Tensei in its name, even like games that are like decades old, like Persona, like 4, like they got massively user review bombed. They went from like 86s to like fucking 50s. It was crazy.
Wow, that's insane.
It's mob mentality is a fucking crazy thing, man. Especially just for people that are so passionate about video games that they have nothing else to do with their time other than I don't want this thing to sell because I don't want it to be seen.
Yeah, yeah, and that's such a stupid mentality, man. It's like, come on. Do you have it? Is that really all you're gonna do? Is just trash on a game because you disliked it?
Well,
Obviously, you would like people to agree with you, right?
Because obviously it's like you're passionate about seeing like Bayonetta 3, because Bayonetta hasn't been seen as long as Shin Megami Tensei, and I get that. But there are people out there that fucking have been starving for it, and they love the series, and they're genuinely happy to see it back. And for you to be like, no, I don't want to see it, and actively shit on the progression of more products for something you don't care about, like, it's ridiculously childish.
It's like shitting on someone's happiness, even if like something they like is something you dislike, but you shit on them for liking it, right? If that makes sense.
No, I get you. It's the equivalent of jocks like kicking down the nerds fucking Game Boy in the hallway for
But
no
that's not.
reason.
But that's like Disney fantasy, though. That's not real.
But
No,
you get what we mean. That's like the thing we're trying to make.
yeah. I think a lot of it also comes from the fact that it's very easy to get people riled up on the internet. I'm not going to name any names in terms of YouTube channels, but there's a lot of channels out there for many different types of fandoms, many different types of communities, where the sole purpose of their channel is to just feed on people's emotions and try to get them to something that's already disliked, try to get them to hate it
Bro,
even
you don't
more.
even
For
you don't
example.
even have to say like a YouTube channel. That's our presidency. Like you don't even have to fucking.
Yeah. No, it's like for example, right? Like let's say there's a certain show that gets a lot of flack for having a bad writing. I think Gia, you know what I'm talking about. Don't say the show because I don't want the
Mhm.
YouTuber's name to be like revealed there. But there's
Yeah,
gonna be
we're gonna
like
get a bunch of 16-year-olds on here. I swear to
oh my
God.
god. This video's unlisted, so we're good. But anyway, so like yeah, if you go for that show, it's like there's this one YouTuber. It's like, oh my god, the producers behind this company are always fucking up. Like every single thumbnail is like, this person's accused for doing this thing, or what happened to this show, or blah blah blah. You know, it's like the entire reason of this person's popularity or this person's content is to just feed the whole
Shit on other
vitriol,
people.
not necessarily shit on other people, but like feed the vitriol that fans feel against against the show, and try to amplify it to a ridiculous extent, like make it seem worse than it actually really is. And that's kind of like that's part of the reason why we get a lot of things like review bombs and all the crap, is because people are getting super emotional about the littlest of things, about something that doesn't really matter that much as much as they think it does. And so that's why you have this reaction towards people. That's a big part of why mob mentality is so dangerous and so successful. To that extent, cancel culture as well. Like, yeah, it's good to like call out people for a lot of bad things that they have done, but at the same time, um, it's another thing to just completely cancel them, because part of the process of like what's it called, of moving forward, is letting that thing go instead of saying you're canceled, and we're gonna make sure that you are put down to the ground. I feel like that's the whole thing with that.
And it's so stupid because it's like, it's just people. Like, it's not even, so say, for a movie actor, James Gunn's a good example. They tried to pin him down for something he did years ago, and he's been very apologetic for. Um, with the allegations of, I forgot which, but it was bad. Bad enough where he had to step away from Guardians of the Galaxy until later on, where everything cooled down, he can join back, right? But it's just like regular people that are just shitting on a man who's done so well for himself, and they just want to see him fail because of a mistake he did 10 years ago. And
I think I'll play devil's advocate right now. I will say I think there are definitely people out there that don't want to that will tear someone down, not for the sake of tearing them down, but for the fact that they genuinely think that certain things are unforgivable. And people can change for sure. I think it's really difficult to say that one person is fully responsible for or is responsible to uphold their actions all the time. I think, obviously, like I said, people change, and if we were to, at the bare minimum, listen to what everyone else has to say at every single given time, the world would be way more fucked than it already is.
I 100% agree. It's just, you said how people change is like hell. I'm a way different person than I was 5 years ago, 2 years ago even.
Mm-hmm.
And think about it, like from James Gunn when he was like younger. I think it was 25. I'm not even sure.
I think everyone said dumb shit on the internet that probably would get them canceled at some point.
Yeah, I know.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like
I was
10
like
years
9
is a lot of
when
time.
I was saying like really bad shit that I would fucking like tell myself to stop, like as an adult.
And it's just that the maturity of some people. Like I get it if they're just like, yeah, they're just calling him out for this before. But for those who goes to the extreme, like you guys said, putting them down to the dirt, that stuff is just like, I don't agree with that, man. It's like I try not to judge people on their worst mistakes, but of course some mistakes are, bad.
Right, and
But
that's where the hard part of like cancel culture is. It's wrong, and I think it shouldn't exist for sure. That being said, bringing it back to like the Smash allegations, one of the things that is really difficult to say is that like some of these actions happened years ago. Like, I'm sure Ito, you saw the video with that with Pape, the dude that was 14 at the time.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, and the woman was 24. The kid was 15 or 14. And that happened probably 4 years ago in 2016. And, you know, I wouldn't say necessarily they were canceled, but the emotional response from the community generally is like, we don't want you here. And I think what's really important to recognize about cancel culture is that, like, cancel culture shouldn't be something that means, like, we don't want you to potentially hurt anyone else. I feel like that's what cancel culture, if it were to exist, that's what it should be.
Yeah.
It should be canceling the potential to hurt other people, not canceling the ability for someone to live a life, so to speak.
Yeah, and I agree with that, like to a huge extent. Like that's what we should strive for. Like in terms of like the proper way to do things, like we should make people aware of the bad things that a person has done. Um, and like depending from person to person, just see like, is this person someone who's worked hard to atone for what they've done, or are they a person who doesn't care for what they've done? If they're the latter, of if they try to hide things, then by all means, like we should say like, hey, you are no longer welcome in this community. Please leave and fix your own life. Um, but if it's the former, like James Gunn, for example, then it's be like, okay, we'll keep an eye out on you. Um, don't mess up again because you are essentially on thin ice at that point. I feel like that's kind of like a step forward instead of just saying, "Fuck you" and I hope you die, that kind of stuff. Like that, which I feel like is what cancel culture ultimately kind of.
It's what it's become, but
Yeah.
it's not what it should be. Cancel culture
Exactly.
can exist, but
Just not
in
to
an
this
extent,
extent.
yeah.
And another thing too, I don't know if you guys kept up with the YouTube drama, but Jenna Marbles recently, a
Right, right.
YouTube OG, has been canceled for videos and jokes that were okay at the time, right?
Oh yeah.
Quote, like air quotes, okay at the time. And no, she's getting shit for it now, a couple years later, because, you know, the times are different, a lot can change. But it's just like, if you're gonna make, oh man, it's just so frustrating. I don't personally watch her, but
Right.
I feel for her.
And I agree. I do think, and it's weird too, because the same thing also happened to Shane Dawson, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Where he was one of the thing was that he was joking about masturbating to like
Jaden Smith's sister. Will Smith's daughter, actually,
she was like
ironically.
11 at the time or some shit. And like, yeah, that's fucked up. And realistically, I feel like out of anyone, Shane Dawson is like the least likely person to change because he has a lot of shit like backed up on his channel. That's like, yeah, you kind of just feed off the drama of people, man. So it's hard for us to really support not taking you off this platform. And I think that's what people have to understand. It's like it's a case-to-case basis. Like Jenna Marbles is generally okay, I think. But
Yeah.
granted, I'm coming from a position that I have not seen the videos, so.
I'm
Me neither.
surprised. Do you guys know Ray William Johnson?
I know
It
of
sounds
him.
familiar.
So
Oh
Ray
my
William
god, he's so
Ray,
young.
Willi-
He's so young.
Ray William Johnson rap is this. He was one of the earliest, biggest YouTubers out there. Where what he would do is he would take quote unquote viral videos that he finds, and then he would take like 3 of them at a time, and he would put them up on his YouTube channel, and he would like make a funny commentary around it. He was really big at the time, right? But the thing is
Oh,
that like, yeah,
I know you're talking. Is that the dude with the background, like that absurd background? He has a lot of stuff, and he's
Like a
just talking in front of the camera.
like like a comic
Yeah,
book,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that guy.
Okay.
So recently, I found some videos of him saying the N word with an A, uh,
Hmm.
even though he's white, right? But the thing is that he grew up in New York. He grew up in like I think, I don't know where I just know he grew up essentially in New York, right? So he's been around that area. He's been around like, I guess certain cultures or whatever. I don't know. But the thing is like, back then it was acceptable even for someone like him to say that. But now it's like it's not acceptable for anyone to say that, unless you're black, and like no one has called him out yet on that one, which is for me like it's weird like how like they would call out someone like Jenna Marbles or Shane Dawson, but not someone like William Johnson who existed essentially the same time as they do, and that makes me think that this whole thing it's like you're only really called out if you're popular enough, and you can get away with it if you're not popular anymore. And that's what Ray William Johnson is. He doesn't have the same kind of popularity that he used to have. So he kind of gets away with some of the things that he's said in the past, essentially.
Yeah. I forgot what I was gonna say. There's a lot of YouTubers who did use that at the time. I know one is I know Ryan Higa used the F word in one of his most popular videos, How to Be Ninja, the
Yeah, I
original
was
one.
about to bring that up
Yeah.
because his entire YouTube name is an entendre of the N word.
Yeah. And in a lot of his skits, they used to say a lot of derogatory stuff. But at the time, it was funny. And
Yeah.
Especially he's like
Fortu-
what? He's like 16 at the time. A 16-year-old in like 2008.
yeah. And fortunate enough for him, he hasn't been canceled or air quotes canceled. But it just goes to show it's just like cancel culture, the mob moves to whoever they want to or whoever they feel like should be put down next.
That
Like-
being said, can we cancel Keemstar at some point, for fuck's sake?
Dude, people have tried, man. People have
People
tried.
try, man. He's just
It's so hard.
We're too small, but like I don't give a fuck. If we're gonna start beef with someone, I don't care. They have like what 500,000 subs. I don't care. I will start beef with Keemstar.
At this point, dude, pedophilia is the only thing that's gonna get him. I think,
Oh my
and
goodness. Okay.
even then,
he's
and
got
even
kids, man.
I know that's the thing. It's like
You can
that's
have
the
kids and
only
be a
thing.
pedophile.
No, yeah, but that's the thing. It's like that's the only kind of drama that would ever
That's the
take down
podcast
Keemstar.
title. That's the podcast. That's the podcast episode.
No, no, we're not putting that as the title. No, absolutely not.
Oh my goodness.
No, but as I was saying, like it's like that's the only thing that can put him down. But looking at what Keemstar has done, even I'm starting to doubt that's gonna put him down in the first place, because he's gotten away with so many things.
Yeah, and I get that too, but like, you got to think about it from, I guess, from his standpoint, because we don't know him personally, right? So we don't know if he's actually a good guy. Seemingly, no, right? But you know,
Yeah.
he's got a family. I'm pretty sure he's got a wife. And for me personally, I don't want to
I
start no
think it's
beef.
like,
But of course, there's some
I
things that
don't
he
care.
crosses the line.
I don't care. He got Attica killed, and I stand by that. All right,
Okay,
I don't give a fuck.
it's one thing, but we'll move on for that. But like, it could be just the job, the market. Like most people in investing terms, they sway towards whatever's trending, right? The purpose of his channel is to feed off the drama and
Oh, he's a
probably,
smart businessman. I'll give him that.
yeah, exactly. He's just doing what he has to do to be able to feed his family, right? But of course, I don't agree with the job he's chosen.
Is Keemstar the true Last of Us? Is he Joel?
Oh my god. Oh my god. It's just
Keemstar
personally,
truly is the Last of Us.
if he's the
Keemstar
last
would
of us,
probably do really well in an apocalypse. He would fuck so
probably,
many people over.
probably, dude. It's just, I want to see him eat, just not at my table. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Like it's
Nah, I'm good
that's
with
like
it, with
the
people stealing food from him.
but like
Jesus.
that's like the what's it called? That's like the whole point. It's like yeah, he's a shitty person. I think he's a shitty person, you know. But at the same time, like I don't want to
Ruin
like
his
I would
life.
I would never advocate for something to just like pop a cap off of Keemstar, you know?
He would if it meant that he could make $1 off it.
You know. It's like I don't want to see like someone like absolutely murder the dude, even if he has it coming in a sense, right? Because even though he's a piece of shit, like he's still a person at the end of the day, no matter how many terrible things he does.
Yeah. And again, you know, he is his own person, like what Gene said before. He's in charge of his actions. But it's just, you know, it's hard. Sorry, it's a hard stand.
Yeah,
All right, well,
it's been like an
um,
hour and a half, so I think that's a good time to actually stop the podcast or
yeah,
to not go live anymore. Thank you all so much for watching the first episode of
actually
Pause Menu Podcast.
listening in too.
Dalen's
Sorry.
like, no.
Mm-hmm.
Now play DMC. Sorry, man. I gotta go to bed early. But if you catch me tomorrow, I'm gonna play DMC. Although you should go on Twitch actually, because that's where I usually stream DMC. So you can actually catch some of
Oh
my
yeah.
Sekiro streams right now. So let me just give you the name of the thing.
Oh, actually,
Um,
just quick shout out to our channels. Follow Etoy at Etoy20. The links to our channels will be in the description below. There we go.
yeah, that's where I
So
stream DMC.
yeah, so thank you everybody so much for listening or watching in. And Etoy, I think it's about time we unpause the menu, yeah?